I'm here with Shannon Abad at Jonathan Elementary. She's a first grade teacher, and she's going to talk today a little bit about how she uses a conferring notebook as a tool to help her with students in reading. Shannon, can you talk a little bit about where you came to setting this process up, how it's gone for you, the impact on your instruction, and the impact on students?
Sure. Years ago, the team that I was on started the Daily Five literacy model in our classrooms. And then when the cafe book came out, we all went to see the two sisters and really got inspired by the way they use conferring notebooks. So we did it. And you don't have to have a super fancy one like I do, but I love it and I keep taping it together, but they do wear out. So I started the way that they tell us in this book. It's really everything from the book and their website. In the beginning, I keep my little notes in case I forget what I want to say to kids. I don't really use that anymore, but it just feels good to have it in there. And then also at the beginning, I have my keeping track list, which is really important to see which kids I've met with. We haven't been going very long in first grade because it's October, but what I look at is meeting with kids that are my struggling readers the most, and then the kids that are doing really well on their own get a little less of my time, but it just helps me see which kids I've met with when and who I need to meet with next. And then after that, I just have the cafe menu. And again, all of this just comes right off of their website or in this book. And this is where when I'm reading with a student, I can tell what they might need and use some of the words that we have been working on in class. And then I like to keep the Reading A to Z leveling system that also goes with Fountas and Pinnell. Little things that just help me remember what's going on and what we're doing. And then I have a stack of these. There's many versions of these note-taking sheets that you can use with students. And again, that's straight out of this book and their website, so you don't have to make up your own. Then we get into the kids, and I have it alphabetical by first name, but you can organize it however you want. So there's a section for each kid, and I'll just flip to one of my kids. And in here I have the chart that just shows me every running record that I've ever done with them, when I did it, and the percent accuracy and comprehension that they got, so that I can easily keep track of that every time I give one. And then I have the actual running records in here, so I can always reference those. And then I have the little note-taking sheet, which only makes sense to me because it's very scribbly, but I try to keep track when I read with a student of what they're reading, what we worked on. So at the beginning, a lot of kids just need help choosing good fit books. And so I write down if we worked on that and if I did that, and then the student needed to work on comprehension. So we're using the strategy of asking questions. So I just take notes to myself, really. This would not make sense to anyone else. And I have something like this for each student.
How do you use the tool with conferencing with parents?
I really don't ever show this to parents because it wouldn't make sense to them, but if when we do conferences, I definitely want them to know where their child is on the scale of reading A to Z. So I would go back to this sheet and then copy the information onto the parent sheet. So when I talk to the student's parents, they know that he came in at a very beginning AA level, and now he's reading at an instructional level A. And so I show them what that means, but I don't really show them this book.
Does the organizational system or the tool that you use help you keep track of individual students better, do you think? Or, what has it provided for you that has been a positive impact?
What I love is having everything in one spot, so I know exactly the running record information that I have. I know exactly what we did the last time we met. The thing that I don't like about having individuals like this is that when I'm pulling a small group of maybe 3 kids that need the same thing, I don't have like a snapshot of the group. And then sometimes I have tried taking group notes and then it's like, okay, when did I meet with that? So that's one thing that, like this paper helps me see maybe some groups that I could pull, but it's really good for just keeping all the individual notes and not as good for groups.
So it's a continued work in progress.
Always.
Then.
Every year I change something. Every year I tweak it or use a different form in a different way.
Okay, thank you, Shannon, for sharing with us today.
You're welcome.